Hi guys, it's Karen with Love Your Land. Last week I did a video on my sauce and my recipe and process, and if you missed it, I highly recommend you watch it. It's just a really, really good recipe. It's the best spaghetti sauce I've ever had in my entire life, and I've been making it for about 7 years. So the one thing I didn't talk about in that video is how do I preserve my sauce? You cannot water bath can this sauce because it contains olive oil. You might be able to pressure can it, but I don't know how to pressure can, so I can't advise you on that. And just in terms of canning, I found that this is a lot faster. I used to can all my sauce and I just don't anymore. I use this. Personal preference, but let's talk about the basic function of a vacuum sealer. The basic function is to remove the air from the bag or container that the food is in. And why does that matter? Because oxygen breeds mold and bacteria and yeast, which leads to food spoilage. And also with the air removed, now your food doesn't dry out so you don't get freezer burn. It also keeps flavors fresh. So sealed foods will retain their taste and texture better than foods that you store just in a zip type bag. And lastly, vacuum sealed packages are usually flatter so they're easier to stack, so you save space in your freezer. So now that you understand that your vacuum sealer is going to be pulling out the air from your package of food, you can understand why foods with moisture in them would be a problem. This is critical. You have to freeze solid any food that has moisture in it, and that's including most vegetables. I just had peppers. They were bell peppers. I sliced them all up. I put them in this FoodSaver bag. I put them in there and I just sealed them up with binder clips, laid them flat, put them in the freezer. The next day, I was able to vacuum seal. They were frozen. But as you're cutting things like peppers and stuff like that, you can see the water just coming out of them. You can't put them through this unit with all that water because you're going to break your unit. And I've done that. This is my second unit. So obviously soups and stews and things like this are going to be hard to freeze solid in this FoodSaver bag, but I've done it. That's what I originally did. I would just put the sauce in the bag. I would, fold it over, put binder clips, put it in the freezer for a few hours. And then once it was like halfway frozen, then I would flatten it out, keep the binder clips on and freeze it the rest of the way. And then the next day I would put it through, the vacuum sealing with this unit. And you can totally do that. However, a few years ago, my smart friend Renee found these at the grocery store. These are by Rubbermaid. They're 2.9 cups. This tends to be perfect for 2, in my house anyway. And so I put the sauce in these, put the lid on, stick them in the freezer, and the next day I take them out and I can run the vacuum seal on them and seal them up. Another thing that's really important, don't take your food out of the freezer until you're all set up and you're ready to immediately vacuum seal them, because they're going to start to, melt around the edges and you're going to get moisture into your unit and it's going to break it. So here's one that I already froze. I froze it actually a few days ago. And so I'm going to swing you around here and show you what it looks like as it gets vacuum sealed and how perfectly it works out. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is turn this on. And I'm going to unlock it. This isn't a full tutorial on the FoodSaver. I'm just showing you kind of how it works out. This was already sealed. I don't know if you can see that. When I did my last vacuum seal, it just seals that last edge automatically for you. So the first thing you're going to want to do is measure out your bag, lock it into place and cut it. Now it's sealing that other edge that's in there. So now I have a piece about this big. And again, I just took this out of the freezer. So we're going to take this lid off. The only thing about these is they're a little bit delicate because the plastic is inexpensive and it is a little brittle when it gets frozen. So be careful. Then I take a knife and very gently, just loosen up the sides. Be very careful here. Don't go in a corner because you're going to crack your container. I like to release mine onto a paper towel and then use the paper towel to get it into the FoodSaver bag. It's just less mess. So see, we have this whole solid chunk of sauce here. Take your paper towel out, kind of center it. And this happens to be where the sealing part goes on the FoodSaver, so let's let it rip. Now it's sealing it, but you see how no moisture came up. And it's done and sealed. So that's it. Now I have a perfectly sealed little block of spaghetti sauce, and these really do last a long time. I've taken these blocks of spaghetti sauce out 2 and even 3 years after I've done this, and they taste exactly like I just made them yesterday. So each food will vary. You'll have to look that up for yourself, but at least for spaghetti sauce, this works like a charm, and there's no canning involved. And as you can see, it's a lot faster than the canning process. The last thing I do before I put it in the freezer is put the month and year on here so that I know, because I have a lot of these FoodSaver containers in my freezer outside. So this way I make sure I use the oldest ones first. And that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, and make sure you hit that notification bell on your way out so you're notified the next time I make a video. Thanks, guys. Bye.